All right, welcome back. We are on video 3 of our Google SketchUp tutorial. In this video, we're going to put the components into our room. We'll start by placing some of the fixtures. We'll put a toilet, we'll put a sink, a bathtub, and then we'll even put some cabinets and countertops in. So, again, if you're not in the 2D mode, you should be right here. We're going to go up to the views, the scenes as it were, and we're going to click on the top view, and now we're in that scene. Remember some of the skills we've learned. If you want to zoom in or out, just use your middle mouse button. If you want to pan, move it side to side, hold down the shift button, hold down the middle mouse button. You can drag it on the screen. And the other one was just to hold your middle mouse button down, that rotates it. That doesn't do us a whole lot of good for what we're trying to do. So we're just going to go back to the top view and we'll call it good there. All right. We're going to start putting in our fixtures. To do so, we use what's called the component tool, and we're going to be over here on the right-hand side of your screen. There's a tool over here called components. And if I hover over it, that gives me the name of it. That is called components. Now, there are two ways we can do it. We can look at our current model, and look, there it is. Here is the door, the 2-foot 6-inch door that we made in the last video. And then the good old Dr. Temple Grandin. Well, we don't need him anymore. That's why we keep deleting him. But that's what's in our current file. But we can also go to what's called the Search 3D Warehouse. That's what we're going to use. There are a whole bunch of components that are already made for us. All right, so the first one, we can just start typing 2D. So because we're working in a 2D environment, 2D, let's just gonna call it toilet and hit enter, and it should populate a menu of all kinds of tools and so on that are available to us. Let's find one. I think this is the one that I like because it shows pretty good detail for the toilet. All we have to do is click on that and then move our mouse that gets into our sketch. Okay. And because we grouped these walls, it doesn't stick to it at all. And that was kind of the purpose of making our group. So we can go ahead and click it in place. And once it's there, it's backwards because I want the back of the toilet against this wall. So what we're going to do is while this is highlighted in blue, you're holding your mouse over it, you can grab one of these red buttons and notice a protractor shows up on the screen. Just move your mouse so we can rotate that 180 degrees, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and click the select button. That's my way of turning the tools off when I know I'm done with them. Now, we're going to use what we call the move tool. We'll learn to use this quite a bit, okay? When we use that, we want to use that correctly. And here's what I mean by correctly. Don't just randomly pick a spot, but let's go ahead and pick a spot like the midpoint right there. Okay? Click on that, and then we can drag that down, and notice how that snaps right to our wall, and we can move that wherever we want. I'm going to leave a little bit of room there. I'm not going to get real carried away about exact positions of it, but leaving a little bit of room so you have room for cleaning if you're thinking about designing a house. Okay? Now, you may think this looks strange having a window right by the toilet. There's a couple things we can do with that. We can put frosted glass on there so no one can see in. You can put blinds or drapes or curtains on there. But what windows do, of course, is it adds that sense of natural light and ventilation as well. So I always like to add a window to the bathroom. And a lot of things, a lot of times in designing architecture, that'll be a relatively small window. So it might raise it a little higher. So as you're in the bathroom, people walking by they're not going to see you. So just a little explanation on that. All right, so we've got a toilet in. That was pretty easy. Next to a toilet, we're going to go ahead and put in a sink. So we're going to call that bathroom. Let's see, no, let's call it 2D first. 2D bathroom sink. Enter and let's see what shows up. I think that's the one I like. It's called, if I hover over it, sink, counter, backsplash, two-dimensional. Again, if I just click on it, it'll load that into our program and pulls it in here. And notice it's backwards again, but just like last time, we can just click on it. I'm going to go ahead and click my component tool, click elsewhere, and I'll come back to Mr. Sink. And we should, I should have done that in the first place. We can rotate that. Okay, there's a rotate tool. So right here, Mr. Rotate, what are we rotating this sink? So we want to just rotate that 180 degrees. Let's see if that does that for us. Boom. And we've just rotated that 180 degrees. And when we're done, we can go ahead and turn the component off. And now let's go ahead and move that. So go back to that same menu. Use the move tool. Again, let's be very specific in our move. Let's grab the middle point of that again, and we'll go ahead and drag that back. We're going to leave a little bit of space between the toilet, if you will, and the sink, and we'll maybe move this a little bit more later. But there is our sink in place. Okay. Now, typically in a bathroom, we'd have a countertop. And we don't have countertops that are decent for two-dimensional. So typically when we start sketching or drawing things, we can just draw a rectangle in. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our rectangle tool, and we're going to make ourselves a countertop that's 18 inches by 3 foot 2. So I'm going to start at the corner because I want my counter right in that corner, and I'll drag that out. Look at my dimensions. And you can see my longest dimension comes first. So I want a 3 foot 6 inch countertop. 3 foot 6 inches, comma, for the next dimension. And I want an 18 inch. So it's 3 foot 6 by 18. Hit enter. There is my countertop in place. Now remember what we said, we can move our sink. So we're going to go ahead and move Mr. Sink. Grab our tool here. Let's find the midpoint again, and let's just slide that over to it. Notice how it just snaps into place. Nice and neat. All right. This may be a good place to pause because now we have got our toilet in place. We've got our sink in place. We've got our countertop. Why don't you pause at this point and work on putting in the sink, the toilet, and the countertop. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've had some success in getting those three things in place. Let's move across to the other side of our room, and we're going to put in just two more things, a bathtub and a linen closet. So back up to our component menu. We can type in 2D because remember we're working in 2D space. 2D bathtub. Enter. And I think that one's going to work just perfect for us. Notice there are a lot of them. Some of our three-dimensional. If we get into 3D drawings, yeah, we can pull some more. But for what we're doing, we could just go ahead and put a two-dimensional bathtub in. We're going to call it good. So I'll click on that, and I'll just click that into place. And I like to use our move tool. So where we're going to move it, click there, click the corner, and our bathtub is in place. That was pretty simple. Just like we did down here, we don't have closets per se. So what we're going to do is we're going to just create a space with a rectangle. Okay. We're not even going to put a door on this one. This will just be a linen closet that has shelves that you can see the open shelves. There might be a curtain hanging in front. But again, to draw that, rectangle tool, let's start at the corner. And let's see where it snaps in our bathtub. Nice and neat. Oh, look at that. It's a 3 foot. So we can make that a 3 foot by, let's move our mouse a bit, see how far we don't want to get into that door. Oh, we could go 2 foot 6, couldn't we? Yeah, that might be neat and kind of neat and tidy. So we could go 3 foot, comma, 2 foot 6 inches. Enter. And we've got a nice little linen closet there. And we're all done with that. So in this phase, we've put in a toilet, we've put in a sink, a countertop, our bathtub, and our linen closet. And we can close this little window off. And this is a great place to save. Remember, it saves it automatically to our Google Drive, so that really simplifies that once we get the project set up. And that's a great place to pause for today, or at least this video. And we will do one more video to finish up with some details. See you on the next video, guys.